Welcome to the beginning of summer. Interesting. We are beginning summer. Looking at some of the sights and sounds here in this beautiful park. But that also brings me to a very place of decision making and introspection. First of all, it means planning my trips. Yes, trips. But when you plan trips, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Yeah, no cost. But after that, packing. Learning how to pack. For me, although I've made quite a few trips, as I progress and mature, I want to travel lighter but smarter. So right now I'm considering what to pack. One of the things that I've come to embrace is that there's nothing wrong with doing laundry while you're out. Back in the day, when I'd be on a long trip out somewhere, I would squeeze all my dirty clothes back into my bags, which meant I can only carry so many before I was washing drawers out the sink. Nothing wrong with that, but I was kind of always a little bit scared of putting my clothes in the washing machine or either sending them out to have them done. As a result of that, I came back with a suitcase full of just, clothes that are not cool to pack. I'm reminded of a trip I took. I was in Uganda a few years ago. Another friend and I, we were doing a tour there, and we stayed at this, it was a house where they have guests in, kind of like an Airbnb, but back in the day, we had people that waited for us and took care of us. It was the coolest thing. So we were there, and the person who was in charge of the house said, "Would you like to have your laundry done?" We were like, and we looked at each other like, okay. And we got on the bus to go, well, not on the bus, we got on like a van to go somewhere. And they had taken our laundry away, maybe an hour or so. But as we were leaving, we were going up the road, and we looked back over our shoulders, and there was a bunch of clothes lying out. And like all of our underwear and pants and shirts and stuff were hanging out in the wind. It's like, okay, this is all right. This is whatever. So anyway, when we got back, our clothes were folded and ironed, even down to our drawers. But it was the coolest thing because all of our clothes was clean. We packed clean clothes. We didn't have to worry about them being all wrinkled in a weird way. Put them back in our luggage, and we were on our merry way. Since then, I've learned to embrace that it's okay to do laundry, but it's even better to have a packed suitcase with clean clothes. So when you get home, you got clean clothes. Nothing feels better than that. I'm taking clothes from my bag and putting them in my dresser drawer or hanging them in the closet because they are indeed clean. Now, how much do we bring? How many clothes do we bring that make sense? Well, first of all, the thing I have to address when I come to that is I have to talk about what are you bringing? Summer climate, I have what I call summer shirts now. Very lightweight shirts. Shorts. I know guys, we like these cargo shorts, which are really cool and heavy and got a bunch of pockets, but those thick, heavy cargo shorts can take up just as much room as a pair of jeans or heavy-duty shorts. Do you really need all those heavy-duty shorts? No, you don't. So you go down to a thinner pair of shorts that have multiple pockets, that will do you quite well in warm weather, but always travel with a pair of long pants. Don't get on airlines with shorts on. You know, those seats are pretty filthy. I mean, if, you know, I won't say I'm a germaphobe, but I'm a carophobe. So, you know, find you some lightweight travel pants that are long with multiple pockets. And sometimes I just travel in Levi's just because airplanes can get a little cold for me. And so I would generally travel in or bring one pair of heavy Levi's, and then here we go. 2 pair of thin pants, all right? And then maybe 2 pair of thin shorts. Thin. So you can fold them down. They don't take up much space in your carry-on. If you're gonna do a carry-on. I think that's important to travel as I get more intelligent about my travel, to travel as light and economical as possible. Because you don't want to carry all that heavy stuff. Oh, no, I don't. Not anymore. I don't want to carry heavy backpacks. I've seen people do videos where it's like, I just have 2 backpacks. Huge backpack on their back. Looks painful. Maybe not to them, and maybe not now. But keep on living for some of you guys. If you like Superman and you're an age, but after a while, you want to go light. So 1 nice carry-on and 1 small backpack, or backpack that's halfway full. So you got 2 pair of thin shorts. I use pajamas because it gets cold. 1 pair of longs, or either 2 pair of longs, 1 thin pair of longs and 1 long that you travel in. So that gives you 2 pair of long pants, 2 thin shorts. And you can kind of, you know, flop those out, switch them out depending upon how busy or how sweaty you are during your trip. Now, I'm a firm believer in, if I'm gone for 5 days, need about 6 pair of drawers. Then sheets, shirts, or t-shirts or undershirts, about 4 or 5. No, and plus you've got about 3 or 4 nice lightweight travel shorts. Shirts like this short sleeve. During the summer, during the winter time, I would layer things. Summer, I do thins. They pack light, and if I get cold, put undershirt, t-shirt on underneath. Socks, 4 or 5 pair of socks. Now, I think I missed the underoos. Underoos, a 5-day trip, 7 pair. How's that? 7 pair of underoos. Now, I've seen these vloggers, they talk about, well, my shirts are this really special wool that doesn't smell. Just because it doesn't smell doesn't mean it's not dirty. I don't want that. I have a rule that I raised my kids with. When you take a shower, you put on clean clothes, if at all possible. You don't put clean clothes on a dirty body. And I don't care how much you say, it's this type of wool. If you've been wearing it for 4 or 5 days, it's got skin cells in it. You've been brushing up against people, sweaty areas, funky weather, funky airlines. It's getting windy here. It needs to be changed. I'm sorry. It needs to be changed, because funk is funk, and funk can stink. Or, I don't smell. Yeah, just because you don't smell, it doesn't mean that dirt does not exist in this world. Oh, for sure. So there's a brief touching the surface on some clothes that, summer hats. If you're like me, I like a nice hat to shade my ears and my neck, and of course my head, which doesn't have a lot of hair on it, and even did when I did grow a lot of hair, I kept it short. I don't know, maybe I'll try some of those hair growth pills. Cars passing by, taking a longer way. Now, the next very important thing that I need to bring up is depending upon your summer travel. Me, it generally requires a bit of walking. Preparation for summer. Either you go to the gym or you get your hiney out there and you start kicking in a couple miles a day. Hey, I am a Disney adult. You'll find some Disney on my channel. You can find some Disney this summer too. But a typical day in a Disney park can easily be 7 miles, up to 11 miles. That's a lot of walking for some people. No, and I'm not talking about renting one of those mobility scooters. Those should be for people who really have some mobility issues. Not for people that your only mobility issue is you being able to get off your behind, put your muscles to work. As we age, as we mature, truth, we don't use those muscles. We lose those muscles. So that's another thing. Put that in your suitcase. Now, because I am concerned about my health and welfare, I've also added to my list travel scale. Yes, I travel with a little scale. I want to know where I'm at. Right now, I travel, I think everybody has a little GPS on their phone or something. Why? Because you always want to know where you are in your journey. You don't want to get lost. In my case, after dealing with up and down weight issues and health issues, I want to know where I am on the map. Am I gaining? Am I losing? Am I maintaining? I think that's important. So I leave room for a travel scale. That goes in my bag as well. Those just a few things I'm touching bases on, and we'll talk about some others as well as this video gets a tiny bit long. We'll cut it up a little bit or something like that. But those are some of the things that I'm packing for this summer. Planning on being away a few days, so recycle some things, do a lot of laundry, keep things clean, keep your clothes clean, keep your body clean, and we'll see you on the next one. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you. I'll see you later, my friend. Bye-bye.